All right, we're going to get to the real meat and potatoes of events. If you haven't seen what we have up here, check the prior video out. But let's get into the planning stage of this. So we have 4 icons here. Right now, timeline is grayed out because this is actually a feature that we're working on right now. For essentials, you'll just have your start time, your end time, and the arrival of the event. This is actually controlled by the proposal itself, and then I'll write back to the timeline, when those proposals are agreed upon and whatnot. When we get to premium, this will definitely reset the bar of how you collect data about clients with a combined timeline with a music picker and also your normal form elements all kind of rolled into one thing. So we'll talk to that in great detail when timeline for premium comes out. Over to this is notes, and as you can imagine, this is a note, and you just quickly do what you want for a note and enter it in. Notes are essentially, if I'm, let's say, talking to a client and they make a note of the music that they like or something, that's something I would end up putting in notes. However, if there's something that I need to do with the event, this is where we have a task. So a task is very much like a note, but has a start and end time. So you actually have, an actual finish line to cross here, if you will. So again, very simple, very straightforward. This could be something like I need to go acquire something or I need to do something about this, but I know it has to be accomplished. So once I have there, you'll see that there's now a check mark that's there. And once you're done with the particular task, you simply hit the check mark. Now you could have actually a litany of tasks in here. And if you do them all at once, hey, you can mark them all as completed if you wish. Over to the right here, we have documents. So this is very much like, say, Dropbox, where you can upload PDFs, spreadsheets, images, and the works in here. We have limited it to not throwing things like music files in here. You not want to run afoul of copyright, but we can do things like, hey, I'm going to upload my investor sheet in here. I'm going to let that process for a second. So there's a couple things that it's doing in here. First is uploading everything. It's actually going to take a screenshot of the first page of something if you have something that's multiple pages, so you know what's going on. You'll see the check mark. Once it's complete, we'll hit done, and you'll see it actually created a image of the very first page, which happens to be my investor slide deck for Q. If you throw an image in here, it'll do a screen, a capture of that image, and so on and so on. But just wanted to show the ease of uploading documents into an event. In addition, you can share this out to the couple as well. And as I noted before, every single time that you do add something in here, a charm will appear of how many of those instances are inside. So financial, we can capture mileage. And you'll notice that now you'll see event name up here. There's also additional ways that I'll show you in other videos of adding, say, mileage that's not attributed to an event. Since we're in an event, it's automatically linked to that, and we'll select our vehicle. In this case, we'll select what's happening, and we'll go starting and ending mileage. And if you're doing things like taking pictures of your mileage on your car, you can actually upload an image of that if you wish. And you'll also see that it will calculate the mileage that you're doing per instance inside this event. All right, so up next we have an expense. So there might be an expense that I want to attribute specific to an event. Again, it's attributed right to the event. Let's say we're going through Amazon and I'm buying something that, you know what, how about we're buying some equipment for this. We bought it today, and let's just say we bought a $100 light or something. There may be times that I want to attribute very specific expenses to an event, music acquisition or something like that. This way I can actually find those realized costs about that event. You can, of course, add an expense that's specific to your business as opposed to an event, and we'll get into that detail a little later. Up next, we have payments that can come in. And let's just say it's a cash payment. And let's say it's the retainer. It comes in today and it's $500. Again, very simple, very straightforward. Let's go back into details. This is where proposals and contracts, where we need to get into some detail on that. So adding a proposal, and I mentioned this earlier, you should have your packages and add-ons already set up in admin. If not, go check that video. You can give the proposal a name. This is your start time of the event. So let's say we're starting at 12 p.m. and let's say this is going to be a real long wedding. We're going to go to 11 p.m. and we're going to choose my ceremony and reception package. Now notice that we had a highlight down here for overtime. Since we've exceeded the hours of the start and finish time, it's going to automatically calculate what overtime is necessary. Now, if you want to make changes to that, let's say we're down to 10 p.m. Also, if you choose the different type of package, and again, if you have different hours that's associated with that, that will automatically again calculate and recalculate your overtime. I'm going to also do some add-ons in here. Let's just say we're going to add some fun dance lighting to this. Let's say there's some travel in here. And ultimately, I want to build as part of the system, if you have a specific travel cost to a specific location, that there'll be an automatic travel appending into here, but that's not here yet. You can apply a discount as well, and you'll see a final payment is already here. This will automatically calculate up to 30 days prior to the event. Now, because we're so close to the event and all that, is going to squish that time in there, but I just want to again show you that this is an available piece in here, and you can overwrite whatever you would desire. We're going to go ahead, we're going to save this off. Then we're going to go into event details. So let's say some time has passed and the clients have come back to you and said, yes, they're ready for a contract. We're going to go into the proposal, go into the specific proposal that you would like, and we're going to hit convert. And now notice, because we did not add a client in the system, it's asking us to add a primary client. Now notice is now added the purchaser in the system in here, and is also going to be asking for a venue. And let's just go ahead. And as I mentioned before, there's actually already more than 30,000 venues that's been populated in the system. Let's just choose Chez Joseph in here. They're one of the first ones that are in here. You can also establish your estimated setup time. So let's say, for me, I normally do 3 hours for ceremony reception. I see my start times are at 12 p.m. So I'm going to choose 9 a.m. Voila. And again, you can make any modifications if needed in here. Again, deposits, travels, all these things has carried over from the initial proposal. We're going to save. And now this is appended the proposal on top with a contract below. Now, I have actually worked in my own personal contract that I use as the default contract in the system. For Essentials, this is locked into this one contract. If you do have custom contracts that you would like, especially if you have contracts that work for different types of events, you'll need to upgrade to premium for something like that. But we wanted the ability for those who have a very simplified process. There's now a built-in contract that's been vetted for myself, now available to you. Now, this is where you can share this with the client. You'll email it to them, and I'll show you what it's like here. And voila, this is actually what the client will see. Again, they'll see the appended proposal on top. They'll see all the contract terms below. They can sign with their mouse, or yes, if they have their phone or their tablet, they'll be able to sign in here. They could also type their name if they wish, but I wanted to show what a contract looks like from the client perspective. So going below all this, we have phone calls where you can actually log a phone call in here and blah, blah, blah. You can say when it happened, how long it happened. We're just going to go like this was 5 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it happens to be. Put in a note, voila. Again, trying to make this information as simple to capture and get into the system. Appointments, you can schedule an appointment if you will. Meeting. And we'll put this, say, for tomorrow, and we're going to go for, say, 2 p.m. Let's say it's going to last an hour. Yeah, you know what? 2 hours. Why not? Voila. Again, the information is super simple to be able to put in the system. Now we get into some more details. As you see, when we went in the proposal section, it created Bob in this case. We can add an additional client if we wish. We also now have venues and vendors down here. And as we mentioned before, we added the venue when we did the proposal, so that's in here. When you look at venues and vendors, you'll actually see that the entire list of available venues and vendors are at your disposal. This is one of the real benefits of having Q, is that this information is going to be ultimately managed and maintained by the people that are claiming their businesses. And if for some reason that they're not in the system, you add them and they're added in that once. They don't have to be constantly repeatedly added by every vendor that wants to utilize this system. So this hopefully makes things a lot easier. It's also why when if you don't see anybody in here and you're adding a venue or a vendor, that there are some very strict requirements like zip code and the venue name and all that, because we want to make sure people just aren't throwing junk into the system. Lastly, there's an employee section. Me being a single op, it's already added me in here, but if you want to assign employees to an event, this is where you would do it. But that is it for the rundown and events. I hope this was a very informative set of videos that you've seen so far. There's going to be some more for some of the other details within it, but naturally, if you see anything in here that you would love to see improvements on or have some great ideas, please reach out to us. Again, we're always looking to improve Q. But until next time, be well everybody, and stay tuned for more.